I would say that my number one piece of advice for students who are entering the workforce is to learn as much as you can about where you're going to work, because each workplace will have very specific ways of dress and what's normal, and you should try to talk to people who work for that organization to find out how exactly you should dress. But when you're going in for the interview, you should always try to dress a step above what would be normal for that organization.
I think it's always important to know your audience, where you work and what you should wear. Some places are more casual. I think it's always good to go in and see how everybody is dressed. Sometimes you can tell that in an interview, how everybody looks. I think it's good, like in higher ed, we can be professional, but we can be casual at the same time. I just always try to have like this closet capsule where I have lots of black, and I can dress it up or I can dress it down, whatever I need to do. And that's kind of an easy way, especially when you're getting started. If you don't have a lot of money, you can buy yourself like several black pants. A woman could buy some black skirts, and then you can just build upon it for your tops, and that just makes it an easy way, and you can kind of dress it up or dress it down. And I think that's kind of the easiest thing to do today.
When you go in for an interview, you want to be more aware of maybe like your nervous tics, what you do with your hands. So maybe try to keep your hair out of your face so that you're not tempted, if you have hair like down or in a ponytail or something, to sit and play with it. And be aware of the jewelry that you're wearing as well. You know, earrings are okay, necklaces okay, but don't overdo it so you're not tempted to play with a necklace or play with your rings. That'll help lessen a distraction.
I guess what I would say as far as professionalism in the workplace, not to belabor the point, but things have changed so much with interviews or just day-to-day in the workplace. I know tattoos are far more socially acceptable in the workplace, earrings, etc., personalized jewelry. I think it would depend largely on the people that you work with. I think the older generations probably look at things like a suit and tie, or making sure that you're wearing, I don't want to say toned down colors, but I think, when I interview people that are above, let's say 55, and most recently we had several gentlemen here interviewing for position, and they all wore the exact same thing: navy blue suit, pinstripe shirt, and a very wide tie, which to me is very antiquated. Not to say that it's unprofessional, but that's how they typically dress. I think there's industries and there's businesses where people wear jeans, people wear shorts, people wear slides to work. I think professionalism is sort of a spectrum now as far as attire and what you should look like. I think that definitely has changed a lot over time, and I think that there's sort of a constant struggle right now, especially as there's an older generation and a newer generation. And I would say for me, when I first started working here, I saw a lot of people with ties, a lot of people that I thought, this is higher education, it's sort of a different industry. It's not exactly what I would consider you wearing, suit, tie, etc. So as you can see, I'm wearing a polo and khakis. In the summer, a lot of times I'll wear a button-down short sleeve shirt and shorts and Sperry's. I think as long as I can look professional and to a degree that I think that students or my clients will respect me, then that's the goal, right? Like, your goal is to appeal to the individuals that you're working with. It's not necessarily, some like set of rules upon high that says you have to dress like this. If that makes a lot of sense. And I think it's really hard to say, like, if you were to ask me to put like a vision board of what professional attire would be, it'd be all over the place, because I think, again, it depends on sort of the industry and who you're working with. But I had a friend who worked at a startup, and literally no one wore anything besides t-shirts and shorts, and sometimes they would wear workout gear and they would just roll into the office. So I think it would depend on the industry and, again, like the individuals that you work with. And I think acting professionally, again, I think has changed. I still think you need to be, I think respect has to be, paramount to everything else. You have to be respectful with people. But I also think the days of, you know, we've sort of kind of like gone through this like weird period where like maybe in the 60s, you know, professional behavior in the workplace included, you know, drinking or having a cocktail in the afternoon. And we've seen that go away, and now we've actually seen that come back, where depending on where you work, you know, I know a company in Pittsburgh that you can have 16 ounces of alcohol at the workplace. And I think that, again, like that sort of has changed, and it depends on the industry. But I think, you know, again, respect is paramount, but I think, you know, the ability to get to know people, the ability to share, you know, maybe some more personal things about your life. I'm not saying like, you know, use someone as a therapist, but there's nothing wrong with sharing personal stories, having a good time in the office as long as you're respectful. But man, professionalism in the workplace is such a unique thing to talk about. So it's really cool that you guys are doing that. I just think it's changed so much.
I would say dress conservatively, because I think if you dress conservatively, you're not going to offend anyone, even someone who's looking for more interesting clothing. Whereas if you go too wild, like wearing an earring, for example, earrings, I don't know. I would say probably hide tats. Because I know, for example, because my wife trains student teachers, and they're supposed to cover up all their tats. There's presumably a reason for that. So, once again, the person interviewing you may have tats, and they may have tats showing, but it's probably best just to play it safe and hide them if you can. Obviously, if they're on your face, you're not going to be able to do anything about that. But what else? I would say, depending upon the job, you know, dress conservatively. Wear a blouse and a jacket if you're a woman. Jacket and a tie if you're a man. Don't do anything too wild, I would say.
So tattoos in the workplace aren't necessarily something that's easy to overcome. As you guys can see, I have a lot of them. I've had HR positions, I've had offices like this in student affairs. It's something that you kind of have to understand your surroundings, understand the people you work with. Some people are going to be comfortable with it, some people are not, but it's a matter of understanding the time and place. But you also want to find a job that respects who you are and make sure that you're comfortable in yourself and that you're not hiding a part of what makes you you. Tattoos are something that's very common nowadays and should be accepted.
So I'm Dr. Schaefer, I teach chemistry, so I'm a chemist, and let's say that you're a science student and you're going out on an internship or something like that, okay, so it'd be professional experience. You want to be well aware of the expectation and the safety requirements for dressing in lab. So for example, today I'm dressed in something that I would wear in lab. I don't want to ruin my dress clothes. It turns out we're volunteering at the community food warehouse today. So I wanted to be in something I could really move around in. But if I was going to be working in the lab, even if I had to wear nicer clothes, I usually wear my lab coat, okay? But again, in the sciences, the student going out should be well versed and dress appropriately for the job they're doing. Also, by dressing appropriately and professionally, you're going to be taken seriously by that employer, whether it's at a job or an internship, and you never get that second chance to make a first impression.
Hi guys, my name is Ty Cole. I used to be the Director of Development and Alumni Relations here at Penn State Shenango. Recently transitioned to JCL Energy, an energy company in Sharon. And I think that when I used to work here, I was a little more formal, which kind of went with the job, right? I was dealing with donors, alumni who give back to the campus here. So I was a little more formal on the dress, and now in my current role, I kind of wear jeans, like a JCL Energy shirt. Now if I'm going into like a meeting with someone in the town, I'll probably wear khakis, a nicer polo, but if I'm going into the office, it'll probably be just like a polo and something like this, and yeah.
Some of the ways you can really present yourself well is showing up at the right time, looking presentable, wearing a good outfit, cleaning up for the day. It's some of those really, really basic features that end up going a very long way at work. There's a lot of people, especially when you meet with business leaders, that they struggle getting people just to show up on time or staying for their full shift, or honestly just looking presentable, combing their hair, brushing their teeth. All that stuff goes a very long ways. Some of the other ways you can really take advantage of your presentation is look confident, even if you're not, even if you have no idea what you're doing. Just having your shoulders back, presenting yourself like you know what you're doing, really goes farther than you'd anticipate.